What are emotions? What are emotions? And what is that? What is that? How do we identify emotions? If I'm saying emotions, if I'm using that word,
Desire, like to be attached, to have something bad, to be safe with somebody. All that.
how do you know that you are emotional?
Shows up.
You feel it. And how do you figure out that somebody else is emotional? All right, sitting in front of you as I am, do I appear emotional to you right now?
Yeah.
How do you figure that out? No. Here I am sitting in front of you. Let's say I am a picture. Do I appear emotional? All right. Could the picture be depicting something through which you can say, yes, he is emotional right now? When and what? Let's say I'm a picture here, right? Now, this picture probably does not appear too emotional to you.
When it reminds you of something.
All right. What would this picture look like when you would say that this fellow is emotional? Yes? By expressing. And so emotion is something that you can see through the eyes. All right. What can you see through the eyes? Can you see thoughts through the eyes? All right. So you can only look at the material through the eyes, not thoughts. So in that picture, you would only be looking at my body. Of course, you can't look at thoughts, right? So the expression of emotions, the very definition of emotions, has something to do with the body. All right. If, for example, you can see material tears, then you will say that I am.
Emotional.
Then you will say that I am emotional, either sad or afraid or whatever, or happy, excited, something, overwhelmed. But if there is fear in the mind, in the subconscious, would it show up in the picture here? It won't. Huh? But the same sadness that flows in the form of tears, is that not always present somewhere in the mind, lurking behind? That is there. But when it is present in the mind, do you say that somebody is emotional? Anybody here who has never cried? But we do cry, and we are likely to cry in the future as well. Right? Then, when tears would be there, you would say that the fellow is emotional. When tears are not there, then you do not say that the fellow is emotional. It is just a question of the expressed, the material, versus the unexpressed, the subtle. So when that which is in the mind shows up in the body, then we say emotions are there. Am I right? Somebody is pictured this way. Now you would say that he is angry, emotional. But has this anger just sprung up from nowhere? Or was it always there in the seed form in the mind? Yes. But when the anger is there in the seed form, you do not say that the fellow is. When the anger gets expressed materially in the body, then you say that the fellow is. Now I want to ask, is it wise to say that emotions are any different from thoughts? Emotions are just expressed material thoughts. When the thought becomes so intense, so powerful, that it starts showing up even materially, then you say that these are right. So, if we are talking of emotional relationships, we are in fact talking of relationships based on thought, because emotion is thought. Now, if a relationship is based on thought, can it have love? Or will it have a business exchange? We are going step by step. First of all, we saw that what we call as emotional relationship is in fact a relationship based on thought. Now, if a relationship is based on thought, can it be a loving relationship? If you have very thoughtfully chosen somebody to relate to, then you are only choosing that which thinks. If I am very thoughtfully deciding, which jacket to wear, then I will only choose that jacket which my self, the ego, allows me to wear. I have put in so much of thought in it. Am I right? So a relationship that is based on emotions is a relationship based on ego. Kabir yesterday told us that the real purpose of a lover must be to take you beyond yourself. But if I am choosing my lover based on thought and consideration, then surely I have chosen a lover who will help me remain that which I am. So an emotional relationship will prevent you from changing. An emotional relationship can never be the agent of change. Are you getting it? Because an emotional relationship is based on thought, and all thought is just for self-preservation. So your partner will help you stay who you are. In fact, your partner will become very angry if you actually do change. If you remain who you were, juvenile, at the time of the inception of relationship, then your partner will be so happy and comfortable. But if somehow, by grace, real change starts coming to you, then your partner will become restless. In fact, your partner will say, please go back to what you were. Kindly do not change. Kindly continue to be what you always have been. I do not want you to change. If you are changing, you are actually being disloyal. It is a kind of treachery. Have you not seen this happen? That is what happens to relationships based on emotion. They are not at all spiritual in nature. They are your enemies. In fact, they are your biggest bondages. If someone comes to you with tears, pleading to not to change, then you should know that it is all just Maya. Not.
But not to change in a way that you wear another cage.
Of course. Oh, that would be very acceptable to the emotional person.
When you became simple, silly,
Not
foolish, or I don't know, if you lose your brain, so to call,
I didn't get it. What was the word you used?
if you become silly,
Silly.
foolish,
Ah,
and so on, this change can
This
happen
change will
many
be
times.
readily acceptable.
Readily acceptable.
In fact, lovers often like it
Yes.
when the partner acts silly. It is so sweet. Chomu is so silly. But have you ever seen the partner going crazy saying, my Chomu is so enlightened? Now an enlightened Chomu is such a threat. You cannot like him. But silly Chomu is so cute. You always want a wife who will care for you like a kid. Now my Chomu is a kid. And if my Chomu is a kid, I am surely the kid's mother. So the kid will remain dependent on me. Now this is an emotional relationship. It has nothing of wisdom in it. You talk silly things to your partner, and the partner may just say that you are silly, but will not feel offended, but will not feel an existential threat. But if you start talking wisdom to your emotional partner, then the relationship is doomed to fail. Try that. If any of you are in an emotional relationship, try sharing the Upanishads with your partner and see what happens. Oh, you will hear an explosion.
Before the bus, the shuttle was leaving for the airport, I went to her husband and say, I'm the one who will be like kind of responsible and will be guide through the journey through India. And then he says, oh yes, very nice, but please bring back her as she is. Really?
If
My wife, Selvi, please come back changed.
yeah, but changed in a way that is
Acceptable by her.
acceptable. Again, you see, changed in a way that is acceptable to me.
Yes.
This is a good occasion this morning to remind ourselves that if we really love the persons, the animals, the things, the structures, the universe that we are with, then we must allow it to change in a way that takes it to its peace. If you are reeling a loving partner, a loving father, a loving being, you will assist as much as you can the other in moving towards her destiny. And we all have a common, a shared destiny. The destiny is peace.